Yo, check, check, check.
Some
What's happening? What's happening? Nene, what's going down? Doris Collins, what's happening? Early, I got a question. Yo, Threaded Headwear, what's going down, bro? Good seeing you this weekend too, man. Go for it. Newburgh, New York. Vincent Crawford checking in. What's happening? Hell yeah, New York. Yeah, if you got questions, man, shoot them out. Let's get it going. I was just gonna go over a little bit of the recap from the festival that we just vended at. Some of the things that went cool. I made a video about it, so the video will be posted tomorrow. That was it, man. I'm just here to try to answer some questions for the people. I'm printing some t-shirts for a client. They want a 2x2 of their logo on the back upper neck area. How far down should I put it? If it's a tiny logo, like 2x2, I would go, let's see. So like if we're using this t-shirt for an example, the bottom of the front of the collar is right here. I would put it like right up in here. If it's a tiny logo, like so they call that the yoke, I believe in the print world. That's a yoke print. But I would put it probably like an inch or two below this collar right here. So somewhere up in this area, that makes sense. So if the front of the collar's here, kind of just like how you put it inside the inside, but I do it on the outside, right up in there. 2 fingers down or so is like probably cool. Bruce Leaf, what's happening, man? Yeah, I believe they call that a yoke print. I might be wrong, but I think that's the name of it. For like tiny logos on the back, that looks cool there. But for big logos on the back, I don't go that high. But for the little ones, it's just showing usually the organization's name or the business name or whatever it is. Michael, what's going down, man? Glad to meet you over this weekend, man. Shout out to everybody that showed up this weekend too for the festival. Threaded Headwear was out there. Michael was out there. There's a few people, man. Question: when should you start selling sweatshirts and hoodies? Depends on when it starts to get cold in your area. If you're selling stuff locally in your area, like for me, I'm in Los Angeles right now. It's like mid 70s to like probably like mid 70s to 80s right now. It's not sweater season or hoodie season, so I probably won't. I usually do mine like around Halloweenish time is when I start putting them out. But you go based off of like your weather and how things are working on your end. But here in Los Angeles, if I put out hoodies right now, like even in my store, we pulled all the hoodies down because it's not hoodie season, I guess you could say, right? Threaded Headwear says out his way, beanies are already moving. So there it is. So it's just geographically speaking, wherever you're at. But you know what's crazy is when I was doing the churro stuff, like the Disneyland stuff, crew necks were going year round. You know what I mean? It was always going up. I could put out crew necks in July or June and they would still move. You know what I mean? Let me see. Fat Heck, what's happening? Big boy on the twos, what's going down? Yeah, Michael, good to meet you. I got your text message too. I'll respond to you hopefully tomorrow. I'll get some time to sit down and think about it, but I think it's a good idea. Um I Here in Los Angeles, I really play to the seasons. I play to the seasons in my favor, I should say. Um like tank tops in the summertime, t-shirts year round, beanies in the wintertime, hoodies in the wintertime. Um Rarely do long sleeve t-shirts, but I every now and then I get people asking if I'm going to release long sleeve t-shirts. So that kind of stuff obviously in the wintertime also. Sacre, what's going down? If someone already asked, forgive me, but how was the festival? Festival was dope, man. Really, really busy. Crowd was deep. The whole weekend from open to close, the crowd was booming. So it was kind of cool to. I haven't seen this festival like that, like the crowd, I should say, like that packed since before COVID, like maybe 2018, 2017 or something like that. It's the last time I seen the festival this crowded. Um First day Saturday, we probably sold out of all the popular things like the hats that I made just for the festival with the LA script with the brown triangles on there. I did it in a black 6 panel snapback, and then I also did it in the white and natural two-tone A-frame hat. Um Killed, man. Like I brought a few dozen of each, and by the end of Saturday I probably had like 4 or 5 of each left. And then Sunday morning those things were gone. Every colorway that I brought of that LA script hat sold out, so it was pretty dope. T-shirts were big, like the T-shirt, this one that says "Connected Over the Pacific." If you follow me on Patreon, chances are you've seen when I was testing this design out before I actually put it out. Um, Brought it to the festival, did good in black, it did good in white. White never really does good for me, but this weekend shit was moving, man. It was cool to bring back a lot of empty bags. I should say that. Glenn, what's going down, man? Let me see. It was super cool to roll around and see everybody's booths and style. Yeah, that's one of the big things is like, when I invite people out to this thing, it's not just come check out my booth. I'm talking about like look at everybody's booth. So then that way you get a better idea on how people set up, what the booths look like, the layouts look like, how people utilize the space. That's kind of one of the big things that I encourage a lot of people to do. If you're vending or if you sell products, it's just cool to see a bunch of different stuff. And then if somebody has like a cool layout, take a picture of the shit and then you try to recreate it or switch it up in your favor. You know what I mean? Let me see. Zachary said, I peeped the highlight on your IG. What was the highlight for you besides making the bread? Making the money was obviously cool. Second thing was just it's always a family reunion for myself, not just regular family, but like other vendors. So Tone from Island Armor was there this year. Sean from Ninth Island was there. Ian from Island Works. There's a bunch of people that I see all the time that are in the same circle as myself when it comes to products we sell, places we vend at, and stuff like that. So it's cool to see those dudes, chop it up with them. Basically, all the vendors out there. It's like I said, when you vend at these things, it's always cool to meet your neighbors. The people that were next to us this year, there's one family that's next to us every year. Never fails. They've been vending next to us for like the last 12 years or something like that. They're always there, so that's cool. But then the neighbor to my right, this was their first time at this festival, so it was cool. They came from the Central Valley, far, far, far away. They had a good experience. It was cool. It was a long drive for them, but it was dope. And same thing like Ninth Islander came from Vegas to vend at this thing. He had a dope booth layout because he had 3 10 by 10s on like a corner spot. So his booth was like L shaped. It was kind of cool, man. So pretty dope to see. The plan was to bring the camera and like film a bunch of people's booths and what the festival looked like, but it was just way too busy for me to break away from the booth. So I was just in and out of conversations and then just kind of helping the guys in the back pull shirts and pull hats. The way I set up my booth is everything's on display, and then t-shirt sizes are on the shelves in the back. extra hats are in the back, so then that way people can just say, hey, do you have this in the size? And then we had guys and girls this whole weekend pulling t-shirts, ringing people up. The system works for us. It doesn't work for everybody, but that system works for us because that's kind of how our store set up is, like boutique style, where it's just like samples are out on the floor, and then all the sizes and designs and stuff are in the back. So we kind of operate the same exact way as our store does when we're vending out in public. So we bring shelves. I keep all my t-shirts I keep in moving bags. I don't know if you know what a moving bag is, but if you go on Amazon and type in moving bag, they're like these big ass duffel bags with zippers. I keep all my shirts in there by size, by design. So then, and they're all folded up. So somebody needs extra large, I'm pulling the extra large bag, pulling the shirt out. So that system works for me. Some people prefer to, put all their merchandise out, sizes and everything that they have out so customers could just grab. For myself, it's easier to just do it that way. So, in between ringing people up, grabbing t-shirts, talking to customers, talking to you guys that showed up, the weekend was busy. The booth was crowded. Not a lot of time to like go out and film stuff and do stuff like that. So, it is what it is, but it was super dope. Boost and Mike, what's happening, bro? The booth setup was dope, different from last year. Yeah, a lot different from last year. We had a few different products. The homie Dave made some earrings and stickers, and he made a little pegboard. Jen's Vintage made handmade bags, and we had that stuff out there, so it's kind of cool. Letitia from Baltimore, what's happening? Thank you for sharing the prep for the festival. Devoted brand, not a problem. Question: what is a common booth vending fee at festivals? This festival's weird. Most festivals range from like $50 to like $2,000. It depends on how big the festival is. This festival, each boutique vendor booth is owned by a certain club that's fundraising in the food booth. Like they have a food booth, and then so they're using that for fundraising. Then they get boutique booths. Like that's what I was in, is a boutique booth. Those are, I guess, owned by the organization, by the club, by the hula halal, whoever owns it. And then they set the price on what they want because it's just fundraising for them. So it could be anywhere, like I said, from $50 to $2,000. Over this weekend, I found out that there's a music festival that happens kind of all around the country, and the booth fee for 10 by 10 is $2,000 for that one. So it all depends. Like some craft fairs might charge you like $25 for a table, but that might just be for like 5-6 hours on a Saturday. Sometimes it might be a 2-day event, and that 2-day event they might charge you $400. You know what I mean? So it all depends on the foot traffic and what the money goes towards. Does it go towards just somebody throwing the event where they pocket all the money, or does the money go to like a nonprofit as a fundraising type of deal? Do you watch other tubers that make and sell t-shirts? Not so much. The few guys that I do watch is Rye Beats. He's someone dope to watch. He goes live a lot too. He's dope. T-shirt Buddy's dope. I don't know if he makes too many YouTube videos now. He does a lot of Instagram stuff, but he's dope. Heart and Hustle is always a good one to watch. John Phenom drops a bunch of good insider information, and who else is somebody that's kind of a good one to watch? These are just like guys that I like watching just based on entertainment value. I don't necessarily watch it for like the information, but just to keep up with people and see what people are working on, what they're doing. But for me, a lot of times when I consume too much content similar to what I do, I'm easily influenced by that kind of stuff. So in order to keep my brain pretty fresh, I try not to consume that much content. Like I'm not subscribed to a bunch of people or anything like that. I do watch like comedy podcasts, shit like that. I watch that kind of stuff, sports podcasts. A lot of rappers got podcasts now, so I watch that kind of stuff. But as far as like t-shirt content creators, I don't watch too many of them. So like when I talk to companies and companies are like, oh, so and so, the content creator, we work with him, and I'm like, man, I don't know who that is. It sounds like I'm full of myself, but at the same time, I really don't know who they are because I don't pay too much attention to that stuff. Same thing when people talk about like new products that content creators are talking about and excited about. I don't know what it is because, like I said, I don't consume the content, so I'm not aware of like the cool shit that's out. You know what I mean? Um, See, I was being a bad influence, telling Chrissy to buy everything. Yeah, Mike, you know what I mean? It is what it is. The shit's cracking out there, man. Tons of vendors. A lot of different shit out there. Hey man, good looking out about Supercolor. I just got my first order in from them. Hell yeah. Big boy on Tuesday. That's what I'm talking about, man. Get that money, dude. That's such a good feeling. Like when you get your transfers in, about to make some shirts, all the pieces to the puzzle are coming together. That's a dope feeling. What's up? Just binge back to basics playlist. Thanks for the information and inspiration. Ivory American, I think that's your name. Thanks for watching the playlist, but also, utilizing the information and putting it to good use. That's where it's at. Is there some sort of place where festivals who are going to have booths would promote their event, or do you just Google, talk to people? A lot of times, Mike, it's like if I vend at this thing, right? I'll talk to all the vendors around me, friends. All those people become your friends because you see them vending at these places. They usually put you on and be like, "Hey, are you going to do this one?" Or "Hey, are you going to be at this one?" And then that's how it kind of circulates, and then you get contact information that way. And that's just for me. That's localized into the Polynesian Hawaiian Festival, Islander Festival circuit because that's majority of those guys work that circuit. Like I don't do it full time, like those guys do. So they're at every festival, hula competition, showcase, concert, everything. They're everywhere. Like most of these guys was just like down in San Diego a couple weeks ago. Now they're here, and then they're gonna go from here, and then there's another big one that happens in San Diego. There's something going on in Irvine, Vegas, Arizona. Like they're everywhere. I don't do that, but that's how I find out a lot about them. The smaller ones, like around Los Angeles area, I follow a bunch of these like event pages, or the people that organize the night markets. I guess that's what they call them now. And I'll repost those on my story every now and then to when they're looking for vendors and stuff. Your city hall would be a good place to go because most of these places that are throwing events need to get permits, so they're aware, so their event calendar would know. And a lot of times you might have to get a permit through them to sell there at that event. So checking in with city hall is a good one. I don't know if they have anything online. The city of Gardena used to, and then they don't now. um, so just looking through different avenues, like youth social clubs and just community clubs usually have a good finger on things. And parks, local parks always have, like the event that I was at, that's Alondra Park. They promote the hell out of this thing. So that's a good place to find out if they're doing them. A lot of good ones to do too are checking with your local breweries because most breweries have a day where they have like kind of like a night market craft fair thing. It generates business for the brewery and then also for the small businesses to set up tables and sell at. That's a good one to look into also. I dig the new booth layout. Brings people into your booth to see the other items. Yeah, that was kind of the idea, was to drive people to come into the booth and get hands on with some of the shit. Have you created design that take up the full half of a t-shirt? If so, can you achieve that look? I've never done that. I don't wear that kind of stuff, so then that's why I don't I don't have the market for it. I think you're talking about like all over print type shit or like taking up the whole thing. It could be achieved. I've seen people do it before. I personally haven't did it, so I can't say if what works and what doesn't work with that. What's your opinion on ninja transfers? I don't have any opinion on ninja transfers. I don't use them, so I don't know if they're good or bad. Brando, I'm getting started with the process based off your game, but I started off with my laptop. That's it, man. Small steps, work within your budget, and get that shit rolling. networking and making friends is a big deal. That's majority of the conversations that I had this week, and especially with newer vendors to the festival that I was just at, was meet the people that you're vending with. I mean, you're living with these people for that whole weekend. You see them, Saturday and Sunday, so it's easy to have conversations and get a chance to talk with them, exchange information. Um, that part of the game for small businesses is super dope. I like that part of small businesses, local businesses, talking to each other, supporting each other, and then also sharing the information amongst each other. That part of the business I love about vending and stuff like that, because everybody's super helpful, everybody's very encouraging, and everybody is like, throughout the weekend, everybody's like, hey, good luck this weekend, hey, good luck today. Like, everybody wants everybody to do good. So it's kind of a dope thing to keep the morale up, you know what I mean? But that's a big thing though, is just that, like I said, networking, man. Just trying to get more familiar with the different programs, Kittle and Adobe. I don't know much about Kittle, so I can't speak on that, but Adobe's dope to learn because that's the industry standard. So if you're learning Photoshop, there's millions of tutorials on Photoshop on YouTube. Same thing with Illustrator. So it's kind of cool, especially having like TikTok and Instagram now, because there's content creators that like do short form videos to teach you just like some quick shit, like learning how to like half tone a design for DTF transfers. You can look at that t-shirt dude, and he has dope ass 1 minute video showing that process, knocking it down fast for you. So like, you can watch shit in a minute and it'll be step by step. Click this, do this, do this, do this, change this to this, bingo. um if you learn like that, that's how I learn. Like, I like rapid, fast. I don't like people telling me about their day and all this other bullshit. I just want to learn the meat and potatoes, and then that's it. That t-shirt dude has dope videos on that. If you're like going the Photoshop route. Vent, what's happening, bro? Let me see. G6, what's going down? Checking in from Puerto Rico. That's right. Vacation mode. I started introducing screen print from Supercolor because of you, and thank you. What can you advise using DTF to introduce, or better stick to screen print? Personally speaking, I use the screen printed transfers, the Supercolor wearable, because of its durability and consistency. Nothing wrong with DTF, but retail speaking, I just feel more confident in the wearable transfers. That's why I use them. The way I use DTF is if like let's say somebody needs like family reunion t-shirts, or let's say somebody needs like just a few t-shirts, something that's like, not to say it's not going to get worn ever again, but like one-off t-shirts. Like, say somebody's going to Disneyland and they're making some shirts that say like, we're here for so and so's fifth birthday or some shit like that. Like that, I use DTF for. um will they wear that t-shirt again? Maybe, but they're really wearing it just for that day. Same thing for like bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, those types of shirts. But if it's something like car club t-shirts for different brands, or if I'm printing for like other businesses and stuff like that, where I know they're gonna wash the shirt, wear it, wash the shirt, wear it, then that's when I go screen printed transfer, because I want that durability. Um, but mainly for one-offs, I use DTF, and that's not to say DTF washes out after one wash. No, but through my testing, Supercolor wearable has been the top tier shit when it comes to durability, print consistency, and quality. There hasn't been any other transfer to come even close to that shit. So that's why I use that for my retail stuff, and for like t-shirts I didn't get, washed and you know what I mean, like washed, dried, worn repeatedly. These things last 75 plus washes. By that time, it's time for a new shirt. You know what I mean? Where I'm at, I go to City Hall. They have a cork board type thing where they put the city schedule, events, and shit like that. Hell yeah, City of Gardena used to do that. I don't know if they do it anymore, but that's a good way to do it. Go to your City Hall, find out all the different fairs, carnivals, craft fairs, fucking festivals, markets, whatever it is around the city. It should be on a calendar somewhere. See you all at GPX Long Beach next month doing a meet and greet again. G6 Customs, knocking that shit out. If you do go to GPX Long Beach, this is a good place to find a ton of different transfers. Blank companies are there, a lot of signage, a lot of sticker printers and stuff like that are there too. Crystal, what's happening? Shout out from El Centro, what's happening? Gilbert, how many different t-shirt brands you got, bro? Right now, I just run all the shit through my store. The only thing I'm doing right now is focus on the store. I don't know if you know, but I have a retail store here in the city of Torrance. I'm just kind of focused on that. That store basically serves the community. You know what I mean? If you come to the store, a lot of it is LA based, South Bay based, stuff like that for the surrounding community. That's kind of what I'm stocking up. That's why I do a shitload of different LA hats and stuff because it's all for the store. Let me see if I understand. I would order my designs, have the designs put on gang sheets, heat press them onto shirts, and show the colors that are available. Hell yeah, that's it right there, Kathleen Thompson. That's exactly it. Al Gonzalez, all the hype cornhole. What's happening, man? We just hit a milestone of 2,000 orders. Thank you for all the guidance and support. Looking for a forehead Tajima now. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Tajima actually has I don't know where you're located, but Tajima has a showroom here in the city of Gardena. Bunch of different bunch of different embroidery machines and shit like that. And the homie Rye Beats uses Tajima. So if you watch his videos, he's kind of a wealth of knowledge when it comes to that kind of shit. So check him out. Crystal says, I use Adobe, have to brush up on it. Yeah. It's kind of like riding a bike. You still remember some of the basics, but YouTube is your best friend when it comes to learning these softwares and programs, man. Let me see. Boosting is tentative. Oh, talking about GPX. Yeah. I have found a number of events on Facebook and Instagram. City View Tees. I think that's your name. That's how I find a lot of stuff is Facebook and Instagram. Sometimes if like somebody's promoting, like say there's another t-shirt company or somebody that makes tumblers and they're promoting like an event they're at, usually they'll tag the event, whoever's hosting it, and then you could get information there, like go to the events page and then be like, yo, how can I be a vendor? And usually they have a pinned post that says to become a vendor, click the link in my bio and fill out the application or something like that. Just got my super color DTFs today. Already pressed a few R&D shirts. Thanks for turning us on to it. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Mike. Get that money, bro. Joel G, what's happening, man? Who has good videos on YouTube? Rye Beats. Rye Beats is the man. RHYBEATS. Rye Beats got dope ass videos. Heart and Hustle has dope ass videos. It all depends on what you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to run a print shop, like if you're just printing for others, not printing for yourself, but printing for other people, Rye Beats shows you how to be a print shop owner, operator out of your home. And then Heart and Hustle will show you how to be a print shop owner in a retail location or a commercial location. How they utilize their space, how they utilize their equipment, what they use, what they're selling, what they're working on. They're very up to date with how that shit works. If you're like wanted to learn how to do like Etsy marketing or shit like that, then like Hustle Ninjas and Rich is a dope ass person to watch for that kind of stuff. If you want to see somebody printing transfers, doing car wraps, I think they do embroidery now. I'm trying to think what else he does. T-shirt buddy, dope as hell. He'll show you everything. If you wanted to get into sewing, embroidery, and anything like that, A-Dub Productions is perfect to watch for that kind of stuff. He shows like sometimes he's doing like these big ass embroidery jobs where I'm just like, man, that shit would give me anxiety watching this shit. But then the finished product looks ill as hell. And his production quality is crispy, man. So, and And then if you want to learn how to use Photoshop, like learn all the tips and tricks, like strictly for ordering DTF transfers, that t-shirt dude. He used to go by Screen Printer Mike, but his name's that underscore t-shirt underscore dude on Instagram, and I think even on YouTube and on TikTok. He has dope ass 1 minute videos. Let me see. And then if you just want to know like insider information from like somebody that's been in the actual t-shirt industry, um, worked at a bunch of different clothing brands. I think even launched his own clothing brand, had his own print shop. John Phenom. He has a lot of dope, like I call it insider information because he's somebody that's on YouTube sharing information about like fucking line sheets and putting together whole like collections and stuff like that. He's dope as hell to watch for that kind of stuff. YouTube University, that's where it's at. What's your favorite blank tee for women if you have one? Right now, it's AS Color because I just did a bunch of crop tops using AS Color's regular standard crop top, and that shit fucking killed at the festival. The feel, super dope. A bunch of people love the feel of that shirt. I'm guessing it was cut right for a crop top, and the color offerings were dope as hell. So, AS Color, that's where it's at for myself when it comes to women's shirts because I noticed for women's shirts, it's all based on feel. Like as long as it feels good, and you have good color offerings and it fits right, that's it. It's not a baby crop tee. Shit was just called crop. I don't even have one here, but yeah, the show was just called Women's Crop. That shit right there was dope. Sleeves were right, the fit was right. Shit sold like crazy at the show, man. And I'll tell you this: I have brought a little half torso mannequin, like a woman's half torso mannequin, and put the crop top on there, and that's what helped drive the sale. Was when the crop top's just like hanging on a hanger, it just looks like flat and wide. But then on the half torso mannequin, that shit gave it a little bit of a shape and easy call, man. Like people seen it, like, oh shit, that's dope. I want to get that. They touch the shirt and they're like, yo, that shit's dope. So that shirt to me was hands down one of the best. I rarely do women's t-shirts and sell women's t-shirts because there's way too many options for women's t-shirts, like crop tops, regular t-shirts, boy t-shirts, and then it goes to tank tops, racerbacks, tube tops, ribbed tank tops. Like there's so many different options when it comes to women's t-shirts that to me, I don't know enough about it, like what sells, what people want. So I usually don't make women's t-shirts. For the event, I made those crop tops. Shit worked. Will I offer them in the store? Probably not. I don't know if I'll stock that, but for the festival, it was good. Nicole Reeves, appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for watching and jumping on here. Um, yeah, but if you went to the AS Color and then clicked on the women's tab, you'll see all the offerings they got. They got a ton of shit on there. And it's dope because they got the models wearing the shit so you could see it, see what it looks like on the model and shit like that. And then they even put down at the bottom like the model's wearing this size. And then I think they even put their measurements and shit like that. I think. I want to thank you for coming on and sharing what you know. Thanks for that advice. Kathleen, not a problem. I can only share what I've done. I can't give any other information outside of what I've already experienced. But thank you for jumping on, asking the questions, and keeping the live going. Couldn't make the whole outlay. Had to show sad. Nah, not a problem, Kelly. Not a problem, man. Uh, but the shit is, shit goes down every year. You already know that, especially being from this area, so you know. And then yeah, if you're ever in the South Bay, man, cruise to the store, man. That's where I'll be at. One of these days, yeah, not a problem, not a problem. What's a good boxy gym shirt? That I don't know because I don't know nothing about gym shirts being boxy. When I had helped a fitness brand before, they were into thin, lightweight t-shirts because the at the time the fitness look was like t-shirts hugging the sleeves. I mean the sleeves hugging the arms, kind of a fitted t-shirt. So when it comes to like the boxy stuff, I don't know. If when you say like a gym shirt, I don't know if it has to be like like tri blend or anything like that, or if you're just looking for a cotton boxy t-shirt, AS color heavy shirt, that shirt, that's what I'm wearing right now. That shirt's dope as hell, man. Super comfortable, especially for the big dudes. Like I like that shit. Um, Let me see. Do people add tax to a sale price at a festival, or do they operate like you did, where the price was the price? If I was doing, if it's cash, I just take straight, like no tax, no nothing. But if I'm doing credit card, like if I'm processing credit cards, then I add tax to it. That's just how I've always operated. It makes vending way easier that way, to just collect cash, and then anything credit card process wise, you charge tax on that. It just tracks easier. It makes like giving change easier, stuff like that. So not everybody operates that way. A lot of people don't even charge tax. For myself, since I'm based out of LA County, my business is based out of LA County. It's easy for me to collect LA County sales tax when I'm vending here in Los Angeles. Not everybody does it, but most people do. There was a shirt hanging up on the end. It was like a stonewash gray. The feel of that shirt was crazy good. I forgot to ask you about it. That's the AS color. That was the gray shirt. That's AS colors heavyweight. No, AS color heavy fade shirt. That's what I'm wearing right here. This is the black one, but the one I offered was the gray one. Has a crazy feel. That's kind of like an oversized look. Shit sold out, and what was crazy was like I was kind of iffy on that one because I wasn't sure. The messaging on the shirt is dope, right? The shirt he's talking about, it says life is better with island music. Obviously I'm at an islander festival that those people listen to island music like myself. I wore that same shirt to the Maoli concert 2 days before the festival, and the shit was everybody was asking like, hey, where'd you get that shirt from? And I was telling them like, hey, I'm gonna be selling it, this weekend at the whole Alea. It was at the Greek Theater, so a lot of those people got a chance to see it, and I seen the response of it. But I did do it on the AS color heavy fade shirt. Super dope, really, really nice feel. And it washes well, man. Like this shirt's been washed a bunch of times, and it holds its shape, which is cool. Good quality t-shirts, anything from AS Color. I don't work with AS Color. They don't pay me. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not an ambassador or an affiliate. I'm nothing to AS Color but another person on YouTube, and I use them for a lot of stuff. Like I like wearing their shirts personally. I use the AS Color Classic as my blank t-shirt to wear. Like I wear a lot of plain black t-shirts and plain white t-shirts. That's my go-to shirt to wear. These heavy fade shirts are dope. They're kind of trendy, super comfortable to wear. That's the ones I've been liking. But they have a bunch of different offerings. Good quality t-shirts that wash well. That's the big thing for me, is like most cotton t-shirts shrink, right? These heavy fade shirts, they don't shrink as much. The classic shirt shrinks maybe possibly like a quarter of an inch. Like it's barely noticeable. I mean, a lot of big streetwear brands use that t-shirt too. And then the AS Color block shirt, which is their tubular shirt, I did a wash test review on that one, and that one barely shrinks too. That one's a good shirt. Competitive pricing, good color offerings, sizing, and stuff like that, and it fits good. Has a good collar too. I hate t-shirts where the collar's like super loose, and then, like if you're just sitting there and it's like this low, I hate that. Like I like my collars to be snug around my big ass neck, and then you know what I mean. That's the way I like the shit to look like that. You always give awesome info. Appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Do you need a LLC in order to purchase from? You don't need a LLC, but you do need a reseller permit or your wholesale license. In your experience, what is Shaka's fulfillment time? Oh man, Shaka's fulfillment time is like 10 days for them just to process your order, and then it takes like a few more days if you're gonna go pick it up. So I always build in like 2 weeks to 2.5 weeks of production time of just waiting for them to process my order. That's like the biggest drawback to ordering from Shaka, man, is it takes forever for them to process, mainly because they're popular. and the warehouse is cracking, so shit's booming for them, which is good for them. But yeah, it just sucks, man. Especially like when all these other companies will process within a day. AS Color, I get the order in by 10 o'clock. It's ready for pickup at 1 o'clock, no matter the size. Like that kind of operation, I like. Even with Smart Blink, when I was ordering from Smart Blink, man, I placed the order the day before, the following day, the shit's ready for pickup. Like that's dope. When All Style used to be in Anaheim, I could place my order in the morning, pick it up in the afternoon. Like that is the shit that I like. Shaka's processing time sucks, and that's the biggest drawback for myself. And that's partially why I'm moving away from using them and going with the AS Color block T-shirt is mainly because of I like to get the shit in quick. You know what I mean? If Super Color is giving me my transfers in a day or two, I would like the t-shirts to be in hand in a day or two, so then I could get to production. You know what I mean? That's personally speaking. I love AS. I had to use some hammer tees the other day. It wasn't bad. Hammer tees, I think that's Gildan, or is that I think that's Gildan hammer, or is that Haynes hammer? No, Haynes has beefy. So hammer, I think, is Gildan. The only thing I hate about Gildan is the sleeves. The sleeves kill me, man. There's certain Harley dealers that print on Gildan, like anything bought out of like Harley in Hawaii, mainly on all style t-shirts, the 1301. So I know the fit and feel. Um, but there's some Harley dealers that I've been to and they print on Gildan. I'm like, oh man. I bought one. I was in New York and I bought one from Harley in New York, and I think that one was on a Gildan t-shirt also. Kind of a bummer. Um, Bacon neck will make or break your t-shirt. Yeah, yeah, man. How do you get a wholesale license? If you go to my playlist on just go to the playlist and go to the one that says make your brand legit. I have like the step by step on how to get your wholesale license. Like do this, get your wholesale license. I know it varies from shirt to shirt. What's the price point on I'm thinking you're guess saying AS Color, like AS Color wholesale for the block shirts like 360, um going up to like fucking $14 depending on like which ones, but like on like the block shirt, which is their tubular shirt, their only tubular shirt they offer, I want to say it's like 360. And then that's wholesale pricing. And then all the way to the right, I think the highest price t-shirt might be like $14, something like that. I might be wrong, but I know it's over $10. Um, but AS doesn't go large enough for my brand. Yeah, man, that's the hard part is uh the sizing. If you're going for like I know what your brand is going for. Shaka and Pro Club is a better play for that stuff. And also, I'll say this: the bigger guys are used to Shaka and Pro Club like heavyweight shirts. They know that fit and feel because a lot of them wear that blank already. Let me see. Big Brando, when doing a gang sheet on Super Color wearable, the largest is 11 by 7.6.5, and you order the amount of quantity. But my question is, can you order a 22-inch width? No, not on the wearable. Wearable is a screen printed transfer, so it's printed on per sheet. Like so, the wearable stuff is they're burning a screen that's 11.7 by 16 and a half, and then screen printing onto that transfer film. Whereas like the what you're asking for, 22-inch by 180, is digital printed, and that's printing off of a roll, like a 22-inch roll, and then it's just printing by run. So the wearable stuff you can't order that way, but Super DTF you can order that way. Um, I hate comfort colors. I've never used comfort colors for myself. I'm I see them at the shows, but I've never used them myself. Did you sell out the new LA caps? All the LA hats sold out for me, man. Actually, all my hats sold out. Um, I brought the one I made specifically for that festival. It has the brown triangles on both sides of the LA. I brought a few dozen of those, sold out. I did that same exact hat on a two-tone A-frame hat with the black LA brown triangles on the like natural color with the black bill A-frame. A few dozen of those sold out. Most of the shit was sold out by Saturday, man. So the shit, it worked, man. And then everything else that I brought was killing. All the other LA like script LA hats that I brought, single color ones like red with white stitching, royal blue white stitching, navy blue white stitching, all of those sold. All the two-tone ones that I did sold. So really, really good festival experience for myself. Where do you order Supercolor gang sheets? Directly from Supercolor. You can go to supercolor.com. You could go to supercolor.bigbrando.com. Yeah, you can order them anywhere. Let me see. You know any or recommendations wholesale shirt suppliers in Hawaii? The only one I know is I think it's called American Wholesale or America Wholesale. They're in Kalihi on Oahu. I think that's the only one that I know of um, that has an actual supply warehouse where you could pick the shit up from. And I think I don't know if they offer Shaka, but I know they offer the American Apparel 1301, like the standard shirts. I know they offer those there. Can you give me some price ranges for wholesale hats? Because I feel the resellers that offer them might be too expensive per piece. The shit's like $5. Most places are like $5. Some go up to like 12. It all depends on the style of hat you're going for. Are you making any more triangle caps? Yeah, I will. Once I get the shop back in order, get some more hats in, then I'll make a few more of those to stock up in the store and put online. I just wanted to release it at the festival, and it did very well at the festival. So I will be making more of those. American T-shirt Company. That's right. That's where I get mine. That's the only one I know of, man. Ravin, are you on Maui or are you on Oahu? Uh, do the Big Brando Supercolor link. Yeah, that's it, man. Big Brand, or if you do supercolor.bigbrando.com, it'll take you straight there. Did you get there early and does booth location matter? At this festival, booth location doesn't matter. Well, what does matter is the amount of shade that you get. Like there were some people on the outer, like the way it was set up, it was like the main aisle, two booths or four booths, another aisle, and then four more booths. And then every four it was going up and down. So it was like little pods of fours everywhere. I was along the fence, and along the fence for myself, there's always a breeze. I'm underneath the tree. I have an easy up tent, so it's cool. But then the people that are on the main aisle, on the front aisle, they get all sunshine, no breeze, no nothing, and they're just cooking in their booth. Um, it's just the way it's set up, the way the park is set up. But the way that your booth location affects you is just whoever you buy your booth from. It's already predetermined where that booth location is going to be. So I'm in the same location every single year. But we did set up Friday. We got to the park around 3 o'clock. Set everything up, like the bare bones of everything: tables, tablecloths, grid walls, hung everything up, banners, and then we got back in. The festival opened up at 9, I think, and we was there at 7:30 Saturday morning, hanging up displays, putting all the products out, getting everything situated. Um, so yeah, I mean, we weren't there super early, but we're there early enough. So I get my okay. Florida checking in. What's happening? Glad the festival went well. Appreciate that, Christine. Thank you for jumping on. Stay on Maui. Maui ain't got shit. Yeah, yeah, man. But that's the only one that I know of in Hawaii is American T-shirt Company. Your booth setup was fire. The booth setup this year was really good, man. So I appreciate that. Booth setup worked. extremely well for us. Extremely well for us. It was very inviting. I brought a little clothes rack that I bought off of Amazon, put that in the corner, so then that way people could thumb through the hangers and look at the designs, touch the t-shirts. T-shirts hanging on the grid walls on the outside and on the inside of the booth. But the idea was to invite people into the booth and get them to come in and look at everything. So that's why it was set up that way. Like the thought process was to set it up that way to get people to come in the booth, and it worked. You know what I mean? It was pretty good. Are you gonna vid on Tik or Utah or YouTube on your layout? Yeah, if you go on my Instagram, it's already on there. Big Brando TV. I kind of do like a little walk around and show what the booth layout look like. What's your opinion on having music at your booth? I had music in my booth. The music can't be too loud because there is live entertainment at the festival. There's two different stages that have music going on. But inside my booth, I just had the small little JBL Bluetooth speaker. It was enough to fill the booth with music. So the shit was going on. How did you accept payments? Cash and Shopify card reader. I like I said, I do everything through Shopify. My point of sale is through Shopify. My register in my shop is through Shopify. My online store is Shopify. Um, I have the chip tap card reader from Shopify attached to the iPad. And that's how I accepted credit card payments. And it was going straight to my Shopify account. So it processed all the credit card transactions for me. And then cash, I was just doing cash as cash. What's one thing you'll do differently with your booth next time, or did it all go perfectly? It did go perfectly. Some of the things that I would change for myself, this was my own mistake, is I didn't bring in enough stickers. Um, I ran out of stickers probably like halfway through Sunday, which was a bummer. I did have enough flyers, and we came home with like a small stack of flyers. So a lot of people got flyers. Saturday, everybody got stickers. Sunday, after 12 o'clock, nobody got stickers. Everybody was just getting flyers in their bag. So that was my fault. I need to be a little bit more, I should have prepared a little bit better when it came to the stickers and stuff like that. As far as other things I do differently is some of the design choices. I'm gonna switch it up next year. And some of the products, you know what I mean? Like people always have recommendations, like, hey, do you have this and this, or do you have this and this? I entertain everybody, but I usually don't listen to everybody. But there was some good recommendations on some of the things that people were looking for. Like this year, nobody was selling flags, like Hawaiian flags. And I brought Hawaiian flags last year. They didn't really sell. This year I brought them and we sold a gang of them. So I'm gonna re up on flags and stuff like that. And it's little stuff like that, like little things that worked and didn't work. But the overall flow of the booth worked very well. We've been doing this event for years now, over 10 years for sure. And the booth layout, I always try something new, just to see what works and what doesn't work. This year, this one worked crazy. So we're gonna keep the layout the same. Product layout might be a little bit different. I use cheap little shoe racks, like these little plastic and paper shoe racks from Amazon. They're really cheap. Um, I use those as a hat rack, and they had 4 tiers, I think, like 4 little shelves that held 3 hats each. So it went up perfect height to right underneath my grid wall off of the 6 foot table. So the whole wall looked filled up with like shirts on top, hats on bottom. Like the shit just worked out well. Square, I don't know too much about Square because I've never used it, but I use Shopify and it works well for me. I know a lot of people do use Square, so it's all about who you like. Square is going to process your credit card payments, whatever they charge you, whether it's 3% or like if you pay like a base rate for the month or something. I don't know how it works, but Square's. I know a lot of people use it. I use Shopify and it works for me. How do you handle returns online or at booth sales? I offer no returns. All sales are final, no exchanges, no refunds, no returns. Chances are I'm probably losing customers or I'm probably leaving a lot of money on the table by doing that, but it's just easier for me to not have to process those. So I make sure people know that all sales are final. It's posted in my store, it's posted on my website, it's posted at the booth. Um, that's just how it is. What size sold the most? All sizes, like size small, medium, extra large, double X, sold out in almost every design I had. I brought home a few larges. That's not to say large didn't sell good, but large is probably the only size that I came home with in certain designs. 3X, I came home with a few. I didn't bring a lot of 3Xs, but I came home with a few. But small, medium, extra large, double X killed. Killing that a whole lot, Leia. B, I appreciate you, man. You was the MVP for the weekend helping us out, man. Both days. Appreciate you. What's a good amount of merch you should bring to an event? It all depends on the event, man. Like, I can't say bring the same amount that I did, because if you don't have the same amount of foot traffic, like there was tens of thousands of people at this weekend. If your event doesn't bring that, then I can't tell you, hey, you should bring this much merch because this is what I brought. And then you're going to bring that much. You're going to bring 6 dozen of extra larges in one design, and you only have 200 people at your event. You know what I mean? So it's all based on the foot traffic at the event, how many days the event is. For myself, like I said, this one brought tens of thousands of people. If you watch the video, man, like the one aisle that I filmed was just shoulder to shoulder of people walking, and it was like that all weekend. So it's hard to say, yeah, this is what you should bring, or this is how many products you should bring. It's a toss up for yourself. You're gonna have to gamble and say, all right, I feel like I'm gonna have to bring this much stuff. That's all I did. Like, I knew the crowd was gonna be deep. I didn't know it was gonna be that deep. The good thing is we came home with a lot of empty bags and empty boxes because we sold out of a bunch of shit. But if we brought more, would we have made more sales? Probably. But would we have went home with a lot of extra shit? Probably also. So it's just a toss up, man. You have to kind of just guess on what the foot traffic's going to be like at the event. Ask other vendors that are vending at the same event you plan on doing it. Like, not don't ask them how much merch they're bringing, but just say, like, what was the crowd like? See if there's videos of a previous one. Like, for myself, if you go back and you watch like some of my older videos, like on YouTube or on Instagram, you could see what the event looked like last year and the year prior to that, to get a good idea on how the shit was. Start looking at videos of whatever event you're going to do, so then that way you have a better idea on what the crowd looks like, and what type of foot traffic that event brings in. That's going to determine how much products you bring in. Mr. Slash, what's going down in your booth? Looks like you had a table down the middle. Nah, it was off to the side. Table down the side, underneath the grid walls, and then the 4-foot table that was slightly taller was the register table, and then that's it. Everything else in the back was inventory, stock, sitting, cooler, stuff like that. How did those corduroy hats do? Those shits sold out, man. Corduroy hats sold out damn near on Saturday. Um, didn't We didn't have any for Sunday. Shopify has a free chip processor. There you go. Looking at your video on Insta, and the shoe rack really did fill up the space. Yeah, the shoe racks I had last year were shorter. I think they only had like 2 layers, or it was a lot shorter. So we had to hang the tank tops lower to fill in the extra space. But this way we could put all the t-shirts up higher, and then the shoe racks went right up to where the grid wall was. So it like lined up perfectly to fill up that whole wall. As a new brand, would you recommend pop-up markets or building a presence online? I recommend doing both, Caesar. Build your presence online and show up to markets. That's how you talk to the people. That's how you, like, you have to cut your teeth somewhere. So you got to get out and start promoting the brand. When you go out to these pop-up markets, night markets, festivals, craft fairs, wherever you're selling at, this gives you a chance to talk to the people, talk about your brand, talk about your business, and actually get out and see the people. When you're online, you could do the same thing, but that's where I would use telling your brand story, showing products, showing what you're doing, what you're making, why you're making that stuff. So then that way people have a idea of what you're doing online, but then when you're out at the night markets, you use online to drive the traffic to that night market. Like, yo, I'm gonna be out here selling. I usually sell these t-shirts online for $27. Here at the show, I'm gonna be selling for $25, no tax. That's gonna give an incentive for people to come and see you at the market. You know what I mean? So build up online presence, but also do not shy away from doing pop-ups and stuff like that. Like that's where the shit's at, man. That's the reason I do it, is because it gives me a chance to talk to the people about what we do. What we do is kind of unique. Um, Whereas every other vendor that's there either outsources the production for what they do. Not everybody there is hands-on with the shit, designing the shit themselves, printing the shit themselves, embroidering the shit themselves. That's what we do. So that gives me a chance to tell people that don't know nothing about my business, like, yo, everything in this booth was handmade by me and my partner right here. That right there is a selling point in itself. You know what I mean? To be able to say, like, we design everything. I personally designed that sticker right there, or I personally designed that hat and I embroidered that hat. That is part of my sales pitch when I'm talking to people. And online you can see me doing that, but in person, if we're not friends online and you don't already follow me, that gives me a chance to tell you exactly across this table, yo, like everything in this booth right here was designed by me, printed by me, it was embroidered by me. Everything is done in house. 100% of the stuff is done here in the South Bay. And that is when people are like, oh shit, that's dope as hell, man, like I think that's cool. But they would never get that experience if it wasn't for me being there doing the shit, if that makes any sense. So don't shy away from pop-ups, man. I encourage everybody to do them. Shit's dope. Do you press on site during your events? No, I don't. I pre-press everything and bring it to the show. There's no power at the shows that I do. um, they don't allow generators in the booths. So there's no power, so I have nothing to plug a press to. I pre-press everything, bag them up, bring them to the show, sell them live right there. Shellback, what's going down, bro? All right, man. We did about an hour or so, man. If anybody has anything else, let me know. It's always dope to create a design and wear it, and people ask where you get it from. That feels good. That's one of the dopest feelings, man. It's almost like chasing a high, man. Like me wearing something that I made that somebody else appreciates, and they're like, yo, that shit's dope. It takes a lot of courage for somebody to come up to somebody like, yo, that's a dope shirt, man. Where'd you get that from? Most of the time people don't say nothing, but for somebody to actively come up to you and be like, yo, where'd you get that shit from? Or that's dope. That means that they're genuinely interested in that shit. I love that, man. I 100% love that feeling. That's basically why I do what I do. It's because of that. And then when people buy the shit from you, man, it's even crazier, man. It's crazier because people spend their hard earned money. You know what I mean? They could buy anything else. Choosing to shop with you, that's a crazy deal, man. I'm about to start a new brand with my wife. Pray for me. Hey, get that money, man. Get that money. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with starting over. There's nothing wrong with, like, every now and then sometimes I get the itch to like start certain brands because I'll see some shit. I'm like, yo, that's dope. I want to do that. But get that money, man. Thank you for the information. You feed us, fat heck, not a problem, man. Checking in from Gardena too, man. That's right. Thank you for the game. Appreciate you helping others from your experiences. Not a problem. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Mike, I'll be sure to text you, man, so we could chop it up and figure something out. How much was the booth fee? It all depends, man. Like, I'm part of a youth service organization. That's who owns the booth. So my price is different than everybody else's prices unless you're a member of an organization or a halal that owns the booth. So it all depends, man. Uh, the prices vary. Like I was telling somebody earlier, like the shit could be from $50 to like $2,000. Hawaii's clothing is so congested. It's a lot of people creating over there, and you got to remember, you guys are stuck on the island, man. Like being here in Los Angeles, man, the shit's like spread out. There's a ton of people creating in Los Angeles, but there's so much room to eat. You know what I mean? So for you, It's all about just creating something that obviously has something like a meaning to you and your wife, and obviously has an audience for. I think you'll do good, man. I think you'll do good. I've been rocking with you and watching your videos for about 9 years. Hell yeah, been a while since I joined your live. I've just barely recently, maybe within the last 2, 3 months, started going live against Shellback. And the difference between what you used to watch and now, every time that I go live on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock LA time or Pacific Standard Time, these ones stay on YouTube. Like these ones will live on YouTube. Um, like sometimes I'll go live like on a Thursday or Wednesday or something like that. Those ones don't go on YouTube, but these ones will stay on YouTube and get published on so people can rewatch them. How's the dope project going? Dope project's going dope, especially because I'm clearing out a bunch of inventory, like stuff that I had from last season. So I'm gonna be getting a bunch of bags set up, ready. So we'll be doing it soon, man. Soon. Sid Lee, yeah, thanks for your online help and openness. Not a problem, man. Not a problem. Appreciate you. Been following you for years. Hell yeah, Rav Van, you've been tapped in for a very long time, man. Like I said, the only difference between back then and now is every live on Tuesdays getting published to YouTube. You guys know from watching before that I never used to publish any lives that I did. I kind of would delete the live or I put it on Patreon or something like that. But everyone on Tuesday, every Tuesday T-shirt talk gets uploaded to YouTube. Are you gonna keep doing the live shows like this? Hell yeah. And like I said, every Tuesday for as long as I can. Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I plan on going live. Unless I'm out traveling and I can't make it on Tuesdays. That's a different story. But if I'm home or if I'm at the shop or if I can do it, most definitely will be posting Tuesdays. I was supposed to put up a video yesterday, but I'm gonna actually post that one tomorrow. It's basically a recap of the festival and stuff like that. That'll get posted tomorrow. Um, so it is what it is, man. But I appreciate you guys for jumping on, man. Thank you guys. Thank you all really for tuning into this stuff and asking the questions and keeping this show rolling. This show doesn't work like if you guys had to sit here and just watch me talk for an hour about nonsense. I'm pretty sure nobody will tune in. But since you guys asked the questions, that's what keeps this live stream rolling. As long as you keep asking them, I'll keep trying to answer the questions. You know what I mean? So thank you all. Appreciate y'all. And then you guys can rewatch this thing if you wanted to, if there's anything said in here. All right. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Peace.